there, welcome to Subpar Stitches. My name is Hillary, and this is my Flosstube channel. I have been woefully absent for about a month. November just got away from me, and I blame specifically Veterans Day because as soon as I had that off, it just threw my entire filming schedule, and then it was like suddenly Thanksgiving, and I just did not have time to film and edit and upload. Well, maybe I had time, but I didn't have the gumption to do it. So I didn't. And I didn't on my main channel either. And I'm sure my algorithm is just a disaster right now. So we are in recovery mode. But I did have time to stitch. And if you saw from my thumbnail, I have a bunch of finishes, some new starts, and some WIPS that I want to share with you. I also have a little bit of haul in the form of an advent calendar that I've been opening throughout the day since it's already December 5th. So we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get there. And like, I don't usually do like a full life update in my videos like some people do, but that's because like I have my Year in Stitches project, which kind of just does it for me. And this isn't really a life update, but I just want to say, like, I look like garbage right now, and I know that. That's the wrong eyebrow. This one, like, ripped my eyebrow open. My face is, like, splitting open. It's cold and it's dry, and it seems like no matter how much lotion I put on my face, I can't fix it. Also, yesterday, I slipped and fell in my bathroom, and a cabinet was open, and it completely gouged a part of my thigh out, and now I've got a bruise like this big on my thigh, and also a huge scratch on my back, which I don't even remember hitting my back. So, I don't know. Life's been difficult for me in the form of just chaotic, you know? So, all that said, let me get into everything. Everything will be timestamped down below, so if you want to skip to a certain type of the content, you can. And I will also list all the patterns that I'm discussing in chronological order as they're discussed in the video in the description box. So if you're interested in a pattern, I will have it linked down below for you so you can click on over and check it out. So I like to start with the finishes, and I have 6 finishes for the month of November. And the first one I finished, the pattern is called Santa Full He Just Ate. And I mean, if that wasn't enough, the actual pattern itself looks like this. It's got Mrs. Claus, and it says thick bitches only. And I think, because if you follow me on Instagram, I did post this. I think I misattributed the designer, so I'll have to go back and check, because I swear I put always time to stitch, but I swear that's what I saw on the pattern. But then I was thinking about it, and I was like, wait, isn't that Stiach? So I'm like, do they have a different name? Am I crazy? What's going on? I don't know. I have to look into that. But this is stitched on 18 count white Aida using the called for DMC. It was a really quick, I started and finished it on November 16th. So like it took no time at all. At the most, it has like a little bit of back stitching. So the words are backstitched with 2 strands, and then all of the black is backstitched with 1 strand. And of course I will be turning this into an ornament, but she has, or they have, I'm assuming things, they have a ton of really funny Christmas ornaments on their Etsy website, like their Etsy page. It's not the Etsy web, what am I, 80 years old? Over on the Etsy website, over on Etsy, they have a ton of really funny seasonal ornaments, and it seems like every year they release like a new pack of just wild ornaments. They have a Moondang one this year, so I should probably get that. Oh, the one thing I will say about this pattern, I don't know if all of their patterns are like this, but, and it wasn't a big deal for the size of this one, but if their bigger patterns are like this, I don't know if I'd want to stitch them, because they didn't have a like symbol chart with this. It was just a colored chart. So like color, no symbols. So imagine just getting like a pixel art, and then they tell you what colors to use, and then you have to match the colors up. And for something like this where there really weren't any colors that were too close to one another, not a big deal, also very small. But if there was a bigger pattern with more like shading and things like that, it might be really hard to follow. So just keep that in mind. And if somebody could tell me if maybe I'm just looking in the wrong place, like maybe I just didn't have the right file. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just guessing. The next finish I had is the Gingerbread House by the Tiny Modernist. And I started this November 4th and I finished it on November 19th. And don't let the size fool you. This was kind of a beast because of the amount of backstitching in it. So first, let me just show you each side. So this is the front of the house there. I didn't iron this yet, so hoop marks galore. This is the back. I like the little fence at the top. And then I'm pretty sure these are like the exact same, but we've got one side and then the other side. So in total, it's 4 separate pieces because what happens afterwards is at Jingle Ball, because this is a Jingle Ball pattern, we're going to be constructing this into like a little 3D house. I swear, I need to go out and get the supplies that I don't have because I don't have like the felt for the top, and I need some like board, and I need literally every single supply that they called for except for like fabric glue. So I should do that, but have I? No. I decided to not use the called for because I didn't have it. And I was like, let me just go for something a little bit more fun. So you can see this is like an opalescent. It's Crystal Gingerbread by Picture This Plus. And I feel like it's going to look really fun when it's completed. A lot of cute kind of, not quite pastel. I don't know what you'd call this kind of Christmas with that like teal blue. I like Christmas that uses like Christmas colors that use like teal, blue, and pink together. I think that's kind of a more fun, modern, cutesy way of doing things. And I really liked the stitching details here, the little like kind of almost like icing. And I also really liked the back stitching on the sides because like you can see the back stitching on the like peppermint sucker kind of made that pop a little bit better. And the gingerbread man, super cute. Like just love all of this. And they said that they're going to release a couple more patterns at Jingle Ball that follow the finishing style of this. So I'll probably get those as well so I can make like a little cutesy Christmas village out of my cross stitch. And again, I think the reason this one took so long for me was just because there was a lot more backstitching than I had realized. And I feel like, I mean, it's not even like a ton of backstitching, but for something this size it was, and I kept having to, you know, do a little motif and then break the thread and go elsewhere. So that just added a little bit of time, but it's so worth it. Next, I finished one of my New Year's Eve / New Year's Day 12 by 12s. Yes, I'm still working on those because I didn't work on them for like 90% of the year. This is the 1999 Northwoods Santa series from Mill Hill, and this is the Holly Berry Santa. So each year, Mill Hill releases 3 of these fun little Santas. They all have like a unique theme each year. So this was the Northwoods Santa's theme, and he's got some kind of like berry type plant in his backpack here, and those are like beads. And then he has like kind of like, it almost looks like a windswept beard, and he's got this little bird dude hanging out with him. And then my favorite part is I like these really chunky, periwinkly kind of beads. I think those are really fun. This one took me a long time, and I don't know why. I think I'm not obsessed with the color palette on some of the earlier ones. As they get into, I was going to say like more modern eras, like 1999 is ancient, but as we get into like the later 2000s, I feel like there's a lot more unique color palettes to some of these. However, I'm determined to stitch every single one, and I've been slowly buying them up. And then each one tends to come with like, I think they all come with like fun kind of like little accoutrements, little extras. Mill Hill likes to do like beads and then one really fun piece to it. And this one has a bell. I don't know. I don't know if it actually makes noise. I'm gonna have to ask my fiance. I'm deaf, so that is, if it's making a noise, it's out of my range. Because like I can feel something moving in there. I just can't hear it. So it's a mystery. But yeah, I have the other 2 in this series. I think I finished one of them. So I think I just have to finish one more, and then I will have all 3 of the 1999 Santas done. I also finished Juliet the Bride Mouse by Just Nan, and that was one that I was like, why are you not doing this one? It's gonna take you like 2 seconds to do, and I need to, because I want to fully finish them and bring them to my wedding and, you know, display them there. Or I thought about yesterday, I was like, what if I hung them on my bouquet? That would be kind of cute. So here is the groom, which I finished a while back, and then I stitched them on the same piece of fabric. And here is the bride mouse. I know she doesn't look like much right now. Like, they both look kind of funky in this kind of way. She's got like a bunch of beads on her, and she used Krynic, I believe, which I had never used before. So like, that was an experience. I think it looks fine. You know, I see it is a little bit nicer to use than the DMC metallics, which I've heard people say. And I was like, how true could that really be? And I'm like, okay, yeah, it's true. I can see the point. I stitched these in all the called for DMCs, by the way. And then this is Zweigart 32 count Silver Moon or Silvery Moon. I'm not sure which. And then he has a little top hat. And then I think like a little flower that goes, what do you call that? Like a boutonniere. And then she's got a veil and some like extras as well. I found a video on YouTube just explaining how you kind of basically finish, because I'm a more visual learner. Like, it comes with instructions on how to finish it, but I'm like, I don't know if I can like functionally just read it and then understand what's going on. So I found a video of somebody showing them finishing up their mice, and I was like, oh, that looks way easier than I expected. So I'm hoping to do that this weekend if I have time, because we have Rob's suit fitting this weekend, and also I have to go stuff some envelopes with my sister because our wedding shower is coming up, so we need to like invite people to it. Maybe we should. But yeah, I think I'll have time to finish these up. The next thing I finished is Pray For Me, I'm Petty by Lucy Beam, and I stitched this on some fabric that I found on the freebie table at StitchCon, because that's where I started this. It's like a 44 count linen, which I didn't know it came in 44 counts. I don't know why. I just thought it was like 46 and that was it. But the package said 44, so I'm going to trust the package and not worry about it. I stitched this in all the called fors, which I think it's like the Simply Shaker threads. And I feel like it's the perfect size for a little pillow. So I want to do a pillow finish of this. Like I said, I started at StitchCon. We started a sal. It's the hashtag Pray For Me sal. So if you're interested in joining, there's several iterations of this pattern. There's like Pray For Me, I'm Petty, Pray For Me, I'm Bitter, 2 others that I can't remember. So everybody picked the one that they felt best applied to them, and Petty, for sure. I think the color of the fabric goes really well with the pattern itself. One thing though is you can see all these little like almost like little diamondy like flowers all around the background. I debated not stitching those, but then at one point I was like, oh, my thread will like hop over so easily over here. And so I just started stitching them, and then I was like, well, there's no going back now. So I forced myself to stitch all of those, even though I did not want to, but I do think they look nice. Like, it would be lacking without it. I just didn't want to have to like stitch 4 stitches and break my thread a bunch. And did I do that? I did. I didn't travel. Wow. Good for you, Hillary. So yeah, I have all this other 44 count fabric, and I don't know when I'll ever use that again, because I feel sometimes I like a tiny count, and then sometimes I'm like, why did I do this to myself? Because this pattern, I think I stitched on it at StitchCon and then one other day, and then I was just like, threw it in my basket. And I'm like, why are you waiting, Hillary? Just finish this. It doesn't even have that many stitches. Just finish it. It's not that big. So I spent a couple days in November on it. And then the last thing I finished was another one of my New Year's Eve, New Year's Day 12 by 12 patterns. I did 12 like ornament patterns that I had from magazines and stuff like that. This is called Snowy Wishes, and it is by MTV Designs. I got it from the, what do you call it? The Just Cross Stitch 2023 magazine last year. And I mainly liked it because I liked his smug little like face. I don't know. I just feel like he's just like smirking at you. He's like, hey, whatever, Christmas. And this is 32 count Luna Moth by Bestitch Me. It has like a very subtle very light white kind of variegation running through it. So I thought it'd be cute with a Christmas pattern. The thing about this pattern is I have no idea what's going on with these things. Like, are they ornaments? At first I was like, it looks like offset, like it's supposed to be standing like this sign up, and then the heart didn't make any sense to me if that was the case. I don't know. I just really don't know what those are. And I stitched them anyways because I was like, whatever. And I stitched this in the DMC conversion that they provided because the original was stitched in Weeks Dye Works and I don't financially support their company. So I just chose to do the DMC. And I think he's cute. I ran out of, I think it was like 763. We'll find out later when I do my year in stitches. But I ran out of 763. So I was like, I know I have a backup somewhere. And then I spent like a week and a half trying to find it because it wasn't in my drawers. But I was like, I distinctly remember pulling it out. And then I couldn't find it, and I couldn't find it, and I was like, I'm over it. And I went to Michael's, and I bought a skein of 763. The very next day, I found it. So I was annoyed. 60 cents gone. What am I going to... I will never financially recover. So those were all of my finishes for November. So that leads me into new starts. I have three new starts. Actually, technically, I think two, because I think I showed you one of these in the last video, but I don't remember, and I'm not going to check. So I'm just going to show it to you again as a new start. Why not? I started this right at the beginning of November, and this is Colors of Mexico by Jan Hicks. I'm stitching this on 40 count Cloud Break linen by Roxy Flossco, and I did a Roxy Flossco conversion for the pattern because I was just like, I want to do that. And so here is where I'm at right now. I think I've stitched on this 2 or 3 times at this point. I've gotten a decent start on it. I am having an issue. I stitched a motif here because I wanted to see if the color that I chose, it didn't really match what I thought it was supposed to be. But I wanted to see if it would still work for me. Because, I mean, it's actually a very bright, colorful, fun pattern. And I stitched it in and I was like, okay, yeah, I like this. And then I realized I messed up the motif and then I ripped it out. And I was like, okay, we're done for the night. But I bought like probably too much fabric. I bought a lot of this fabric. So I will have plenty of it left for some other projects. But yeah, I think it's going to look really fun. I've stitched one Jan Hicks design before, and that was the Meditation Garden. And I loved that one so much that I was like, all right, Colors of Mexico it is, because I just really like her more colorful designs like this that uses a lot of different motifs and design styles. So I'm excited to keep going on this one. And I'm stitching this one over 2. So like if you want to like close up of the itty bitty stitches on 40 count, I think they look so precious and dainty. I also started the Colors of Autumn by Stitch Rovia, and I got this from one of the cross stitch magazines. It's called Colors of Autumn, but I like changed it to be Colors of Fall because I'm American, so I say fall. I mean, I know some Americans say autumn, but like around here we say fall. Leaves are falling to the ground, you say fall. I don't know. And I changed, just like with the spring and summer, which I've already started, I changed some of the motifs because some of the stuff just is not like applicable to the US. So some of the foods and things like that, I just changed. And as I get to those, I'll let you know, of course, like I changed this from this to this, whatever. So I'm stitching this on 40 count Fall Foliage by Bestitch Me, 1/2. And I am going to make an interchangeable display when I'm done with all of them. I figured, like, I hadn't started this right at the beginning of fall, but technically winter goes until December, like fall goes until December 21st and then winter starts. So I was like, I can squeeze it in. I could get this started. And I ran out of 740 with like 2 rows left to go. So I got to go get more of that. But I did finish, this is like a chestnut. I feel like it looks like my mom makes these like Buckeyes, or like, we just call them peanut butter balls. And like, you can see like the peanut butter. I feel like it kind of looks like a Buckeye rather than a chestnut, but I'm just going to call it a chestnut. I really, really like this fabric. I feel like it does look like leaves. And I'm excited to, next year, I think I'm going to do WIP Go, and I'm going to put all of my colors ofs on the board so that I can get a more significant chunk of them done. It's just one of those where I like these because they are like heavy block stitching, so it's easy. But then also this is 40 count, so it's not as easy. And so it's not as mindless as you would hope it to be. And then my last new start is itty bitty. It's a Mill Hill kit that I got from Amity and Erin when we were at Stitch North. And it is the Canada Goose kit right here. And I haven't put too much into it. I started it at work and I was just kind of having a little fun, but I need to probably work on it this weekend. I could probably finish it this weekend or maybe next week. I don't know. But it won't take that long, and I want to get it. It comes with a magnet, but I'm going to turn it into a Christmas ornament because I want a Christmas tree just filled with stitched ornaments. And this one, it has quite a lot of beads in the pack, and I know Mill Hill is very generous with their beads, but I also think that this is a very heavily beaded kit, which is fine. I like beading. I was just so surprised when I opened it up and there were that many beads for a design this small. So I was like, whoa, all right, hang on. Maybe I shouldn't bring this to work because I feel like beading at work is just not going to be great. It's not going to be fun. I'm going to spill beads everywhere. I can already see it. And then we just have some WIPS here. So I think I have 4 WIPS. And the first one that I worked on was my Squirrels of Sumatra by Ink Circles. Here is where it was the last time I showed you, if I showed this to you, because again, I cannot remember. So if I did, there will be a picture right here. I'm stitching this in Black Rose on the fabric called Golden Hour, which is a 32 count even weave, and both the thread and the fabric are by hand dyed by Rolanda. I bought them together at StitchCon, and then I sought out a pattern that I thought would look cool on it. So here's where I am now. I finished the first big motif, and then I kind of started branching out. I wonder if you can kind of see the variegation. It's like a really, really deep wine red, and it looks almost black, and then it kind of variegates up to like a slightly less wine red. And I just think it really pops on this yellow. I love yellow. Very, very beautiful, kind of goldeny, mustardy yellow. And I bought whatever this size is, so I think it's a fat quarter. I don't know. I cannot conceptualize anymore anything. But yeah, this one I'm planning to work on tonight after I'm done with everything I need to do, because I need to like clean up my apartment a little bit and get some things organized. But then I'm going to be working on this as well as another project, which I'll show you here in a minute. The next thing I worked on was my Lovebug sampler by Sprouting Lupine. I think this is 32 count Sprite Lugana, and I'm doing it in all the called for DMCs. And I didn't do too much, but I don't think this is unfinishable by the end of the month, which is kind of my plan, is I want to finish it by the end of the month. It's very tone on tone, so especially under these lights, it is hard to see like those whites on there. But I just finished all those hearts that are running down, and I think that's all I did, because I had that color in my bag and then I just didn't want to get up. So, and then I need to do the back stitching in the cicada's wings, and then the mantis has like some antenna. But I'm changing some of the details on this because this is a piece I'm doing just for like my engagement to my fiance. So I think it's like over here on the original, it has a date, and then on this side it has some bugs and initials, and I'm swapping those. So I'm going to do the date we got engaged here, and then I'm going to put our initials in the little like Quaker piece right there. And I recharted on Stitch Fiddle. I just gotta do it. So, but I really like this piece. I like a lot of the Sprouting Lupine more naturey bug pieces. They are really, really pretty, and like the colors that she chooses are so beautiful. So the last thing I've been working on besides my year in stitches is Have a Mod Christmas by 3 Tiny Owls, and I got this from the Just Cross Stitch Ornament magazine from 2023. I'm stitching this on a white, I think it's a 28 count even weave, probably some like Charles Craft or like DMC or whatever the heck, just like something that I got from a big box store. And I'm doing it in all the called for. I had like nothing done the last time you guys saw it. This is my last 12 by 12 piece that needs to be finished. And I plan on finishing this tonight because I've only got like couple hundred stitches left, I think. And here is where it currently sits. I just have to finish the rest of the ornaments, and then it uses, what's that? Diamante, I think it's Diamant, because DMC is French. Diamant. It uses like a silver diamant, which I've never used that, so to fill in all these like little single white spots, and then there's like a bunch of different colorful ornaments that go in. And I think the main thing that takes a little bit longer with this one is it uses quite a lot of quarter stitches, and it employs a lot of back stitching because each color blocked section is outlined in backstitch. And you'd think like, well, what does it matter? Because you're using the same color, like the red is backstitched in red and this green is backstitched in the same green. But I will say, once I backstitched it, it definitely did like a significant like benefit to it, making it look a little bit more tidy on the edges. So I'm not like mad about the backstitch. I think it looks pretty good. And I've been backstitching as I go just so that I don't have to do all the backstitch at the end, because there's something so annoying about like finishing a project but not really finishing it because you got to go do all the backstitching and you're like, oh great. I don't even dislike backstitching. I don't even hate it. It's just, it's like when you finish something but it's not finished, you know. That's the feeling. So I will finish the little Christmas ornaments as soon as I'm done doing all my chores, and then I will start on Squirrels of Sumatra. So now we have my Year in Stitches project, and I have 31 motifs left to stitch because I haven't stitched December yet because I need to take a picture of the November for my Instagram, but you can see there's a lot. So I left off on Halloween, which means we have 30 motifs to go through, so I will try to be pretty rapid fire about it, because I can feel my voice starting to give up. But basically, if you're new here, the premise of this project is I find or design a motif that is max 20 by 20 squares that would represent each day as I go through my life. And this is just like an attempt of like a unique take on doing a diary, because I used to write like religiously in a diary. Like I have stacks and stacks and stacks. I used to journal all the time. And then when 2020 hit, I just lost any and all ability to do that. Like it just, there was nothing happening, and I just can't put pen to paper as easily anymore. I don't know. And so every year since then, I've tried to find a different way of doing it. Like one year I took a picture a day and then I printed it out on like the Polaroid, like the mini Polaroids, and I made just like a little like 1 or 2 sentence entry, you know, stuff like that. So this year I am doing a stitch a day, and I call it a year in stitches. And so like I said, I've designed some of these, I've pulled some of these from patterns, some of them are just mini patterns themselves, some of them are pixel art that I found, I have some books that have like mini motifs in them, so a lot of different sources, and I will tell you each one as I go. So here is November 1st, and that is a sugar skull. That is from the Makoto Ozu books, and I did that because it was the first day of Dia de los Muertos, and I just thought that was like the perfect little motif. This is my sad little self-drafted attempt at like the Notion logo, which is a like app slash program that it's like a productivity thing, but there's like a Notion app for cross-stitch patterns and progress and stuff, which I've been using. That's what I keep looking over at. And that was the day that I spent logging like literally all my patterns into there, so that took forever. This is a little clock, and this is from the Frog and Toad cross-stitch book that I got, and that's because daylight savings time ended. This is a little gingerbread man. I got that off of a pattern, and that's because my gingerbread house fabric came in like no time at all, so I was really excited to start it. This is a self-drafted one. It's not very good. I should add some more detail, but it's supposed to be like a wedding cake. It's like a 3-tiered kind of thing. It really needs some more detail on there, but that's because Rob and I had our cake tasting that day. Really, it was just an excuse to eat cake because we already knew we were going with them. We just wanted free cake. This is an elephant from the Makoto Ozu books. I just, like, that was the day that the election was called, and I was like, I was like, should I stitch the new president's face on there? But I literally didn't want Donald Trump's Donald Trump's face on my cross stitch. I was like, no. So I put an elephant as like a kind of like subtle, like, Republicans won. Okay. But yeah, I was like, how do I do this without, how do I put something political on here without making it like blatantly obvious? Because I don't know. It was just weird. The next one, this is Glep. I got hit from a pixel art, and that's just because we marathoned one of my favorite shows. It's called Smiling Friends. I've watched it, I'm not even exaggerating, I've watched it at least 10 times all the way through. They're short episodes, but like Rob will come out in the living room, he's like, are you watching this again? And I'm like, just get out. Just don't even talk to me. I just really like that show. I like the creator, Zach Hadel. I think he's funny, so. This is a bottle of laundry detergent, and that is a Makoto Ozu pattern. And that's just because we went on like a big cleaning, or not we, Rob had nothing to do with it. When would he ever clean? I went on a big cleaning spree. And then this is a shoe because I met up with my sister. Oh, it's Makoto Ozu, by the way. I met up with my sister and we were just working on some wedding planning together because we're getting married a few months apart. And we were trying to pick out like wedding shoes, which I have since picked out. So this is a cute little trio of flowers by Makoto Ozu. Rob and I went and just like walked all over the place, and we were playing our Pikmin Bloom app, so we were just planting flowers like crazy, because as you walk, you can turn on like flower planting and plant flowers. It's fun. I don't know. Is it fun? I think it's fun, but I don't know what you think. This is a little like military patch motif. Is that like a... listen, bro, I don't know. I used to know all this stuff, but I don't remember it anymore. But that's from Makoto Ozu, and I just put that in there because it was Veterans Day. Another Makoto Ozu one. I got really behind, so I just used a lot of Makoto Ozu stuff because I was like, I don't have time to design these. This is a weightlifter, and this is my first day back at the gym lifting weights. And I had the most awkward experience. And at first I was like, am I overreacting? But then I told like 3 people, and they were like, you're underreacting. So basically what had happened was I was going to deadlift, which is my favorite lift. And I was loading the bar, and this guy just comes up to me, and I had my headphones in, so it's like I couldn't hear. And he's like talking at me, and I'm like taking my headphones out because I thought like he started like touching my weights on the bar. And I was like, was he using this spot and I just didn't know it? Or like, is he trying to take my weights? Because that is a thing that happens. People will take weights right off your bar while you're using them. It's rude. And so I take my headphones out. I was like, what? And he's like, here, let me help you. And I was like, oh no, it's fine. I can load my own bar. And he's like, no, I don't have anything better to do. And I recognized like he was a worker, but I had told him literally 3 times, like, no, it's fine. And he kept insisting. And I was like, I don't know what to do. So he's like loading the bar for me. And I'm like, the whole point of this is that like, I'm supposed to be able to lift those weights. If I can't even load my own bar, I have no business picking that bar or trying to pick that bar up off the ground. And I don't know if he just thought like, cause like, I'm not doing crazy numbers, but I can deadlift quite a bit more than any of my other lifts because I just have really strong legs. And I was just like, does he think I'm like messing around here? Like, I don't know. It was really uncomfortable, but I was like, great, it's over. He walks away and I do my deadlifts. As I'm unloading, he comes back and is like, I'll do this for you, don't worry. And I'm just like trying to be polite, and I was like, thanks, like, I don't know, like, thanks, I guess. And then I just left because I was just like, I just felt weird. So then I'm on my way home, and I like texted my friend Tara, and I was like, this weird thing happened to me, but like, am I overreacting? Like, am I just being crazy? And she was like, no, like, that's weird, like, leave me alone. And I was like, yeah, okay. But then I was like, listen, maybe I'm not like born and bred in the gym. Obviously, look at me. It doesn't look like I go to the gym, but I do. But it doesn't look like it. I'm not like born and bred in the gym. So I don't know if like, you know, sometimes etiquette is different and I don't always realize. So I asked Rob, my fiance, because I feel like he's very willing to be like, you know, we're very good with each other where we're like, you were in the wrong in this situation, or like, hey, here's what I think you should have done. And we're very quick to tell each other that, because it's just like, I feel like the way that men and women perceive the world sometimes is very different, because we're socialized very differently. So I was like, maybe I'm just being dramatic. And I'm not even like halfway through the story to Robin. He's like, that is so weird. Like, why was he even coming near you? Like, that is so unreasonable. And I was like, okay, if Rob says it was weird, then it was definitely weird, because he goes to the gym constantly. He's big into weightlifting. He's big in the scene, and like interested in the scene, I guess. He's not out there like pro lifting, but so I was like, I felt very justified in my like weirded outness. And now every time I go, I like look around before I load my weights, because I just don't want that guy to come near me. This is a little moon, and it is self-drafted, and I did this because like daylight savings time was killing me. It was getting so dark so fast, and I'm just already over it. Here's a little self-drafted 45 plate, because this was the day I went back to the gym, and then I was loading the bar, and I just slammed the weight on too hard and just pinched my knuckle between two 45s, and it just bruised it so bad. It hurts so bad. So this one, I don't know if it's recognizable or not. I tried my best. This is supposed to be Mike Tyson's face tattoo, and I did this myself, and that's because I stayed up and watched the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight, which sucked. It was very boring. But I like Mike Tyson. I think he's kind of a chill guy. But the fight before with the two women, like there was like an Irish lady and a Puerto Rican lady, I think. That fight was brutal. When the Puerto Rican lady's like eyebrow just was like, we're not attached to your face anymore. I was like, oh my God. And then this is like a creepy little like yokai monster type thing from a Makoto Ozu book. And this is because I had like fallen asleep on the like futon in our living room. And when I woke up, it was like 6 p.m. And Rob was in his office, and I didn't think anything of it. I thought he was just like on his computer. I didn't realize he was GMing like a RPG game. So I like flipped all my hair forward over my face and like put my hood up so it would stay. And I just like walked into his room to like be spooky, I guess. I don't know. I had just woken up after like a weird middle of the day nap that I never take. And he was like, Hillary, I'm running a game right now. And I was like, I hope nobody saw that. So this is a Campbell's can. Campbell's? I don't know. This is a soup can. And this is like a Makoto Ozu design. Rob and I made a homemade chicken noodle soup, which was delicious. This is a cute little penguin, and this is Makoto Ozu, and that's because I was swatching thermal nail polish, which, you know, it reacts to your body heat and like the temperature around. So when it's cold, it's one color, and when it's hot, it's another. And I'm swatching them for a brand, and so I had to like take pictures in like a variety of ways and send them to the brand, because that's why they send them to me, is so that they can get pictures of me wearing them. And I was like struggling because it's so cold right now that it's hard to get it to transition naturally. So I'm like running back and forth to my freezer and like sticking my hand in the freezer and like closing the door of the freezer. I was like, if Rob comes home right now, I got my arm like locked in the freezer, he's gonna be like, I need to leave. So this is a little 11, and I just used a color because I wanted to use a variegated floss from DMC, because I hadn't used this color and I really liked it. But Rob and I have been together for 11 years. That was our 11-year anniversary. And I gotta tell you, if you're not married and you tell people you've been together for that long, they are very rude to you. They are so rude. They all have opinions about why you should have gotten married earlier. And I'm like, I'm sorry, bro, were you gonna pay for it? So I don't know. People just, I hate that the only way to like be viewed as like a legitimate couple in this country is like marriage, because I don't know. That's a rant for another time. This is a little coin, and this is from a pixel art, and that is because, remember those swatches that I was telling you about? That was the first time I had swatched for her, and she paid me for swatches. And I've had brands like offer here and there, like not consistently, but she's like, no, I pay all my swatchers, like this is how much you get for each picture, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I like swatching for you. I like that. So that was fun. This is a little snowman, and he is a Makoto Ozu design, and that's for the first snow of the year. This is a little lip print, another Makoto Ozu design, because I had my hair and makeup trial for my wedding, which went really well. This is a candle, and this is kind of what the centerpieces at my wedding I'm planning for them to look like. My mom and my sister came, and then we went to a few stores to kind of scope out like wedding decor ideas, but I didn't actually buy anything because most stores don't keep in stock like the amount that I needed of each thing to, you know, buy it all at once. So I was like, I'll just order it online. This is a cute little bobbin from Makoto Ozu, and that's just because I spent the entire day stitching. This is the Michaels logo, self-drafted, so it's not like the best, but that's because I went to Michaels and I felt like I was cheating on Joanne. But let me tell you, here's the thing. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want anybody to talk to me. And Michaels has automated checkout. And so I was like, I'm going to Michaels because the Joann's is severely understaffed. They're like right next to each other. And the one lady who's always on register just wants to have a long drawn out conversation with every single person who comes through. And I'm like, I need a single skein of floss. I am not about to be held hostage for 10 minutes to pay you 55 cents. Like, I just can't. I can't handle it. This is that skein of 762 I was talking about that I lost and then bought and then found the other one. So not thrilled about that. This is a Makoto Ozu design. I had to like squash it down in order to make it fit, but I feel like you could still kind of tell it's a skein. And I used, like, the skein they had in the book was a different color, but I just used 762 so that it would match. These are like shutter shades. That's a Makoto Ozu design. And that's because Rob and I drove to New Jersey for Thanksgiving. And I just associate those glasses with New Jersey because of like Jersey Shore. So I was like, all right. Because I was like, I'm not stitching the outline of New Jersey. I'm not doing that. That seems like a hassle. This is a little pie from the Cute Kawaii Cross Stitch book. And that's because it was Thanksgiving and there was pie. My fiance's uncle bought like a really nice apple pie, and then he served it to me with this tiny, like 3-tined fork. And I love tiny silverware. I hate big silverware. I like really tiny, thin silverware. So I was over the moon about that. We've got 2 left. This is a video game controller. This is a Makoto Ozu design. And that is because Rob and I spent the day playing some video games with his cousin. And then on the last day of November, there's a little piece of pizza because that was the day we were driving back to Michigan, but we drove up to Connecticut first and met a couple of my friends who they live in like that region. And so it was like an hour and a half for them, an hour and a half for us. We met right in the middle and we got pizza from this place. It's like Italian style pizza. So it's like the more classic style of pizza. It was so good. And then, we spent 11 hours driving home back to Michigan. So that is my year in stitches so far. I have 31 left to stitch. And then I've got 4 of them. I got 4 of them mapped out already. They won't take me that long. I just need to remember to take a picture when I'm done filming so that I can post it to Instagram so that I can do the final month. Okay, last but not least, we have a little bit of haul. And then I think I'll just mention a couple plans and then I will be done because talking this long is painful to me. I don't know why. So I got the Crafty Gurumi advent calendar, and I found out about this through my friend Tara, Wilda Crafts, who also got the same calendar. She's opening it on her channel, and she's showing hers every single day alongside the BNS Nice List box. But we got the same box, but we get different stuff in our box because this Advent is really, really cool. So she sent out a questionnaire asking you certain things like what are your favorite colors, favorite types of themes and stuff like that. She also asked like what stitches are you comfortable with? So you could say like, no, I don't like black work or I don't like French knots or whatever. I was like, give me everything. I want to try it all. So based off of that, she picked stuff for your individualized Advent. So even though Tara and I got the same thing, we might not be getting the same thing in each day. So it's kind of fun. We've been like texting each other and comparing what we've got. So I opened up the first 5 days so far because it is December 5th as I'm filming this. So the first thing that I got was, this is a 14 count Ada that Crafty Gurumi hand dyed. You can kind of see you know, there's like blue and purple. There were, I think, 4 variations that you could get. And for this one, Tara and I did end up getting the same one. But there was some, like, I would have been happy with any of the 4. They were all really nice. So this would be fun for some, like, kind of wintry, icy kind of patterns. And the box does come with patterns, so I'm kind of waiting to see, like, would any of those go with this, or should I, like, play around with it? I don't know. But yeah, very, very fun first day. I love getting kind of like a more big ticket type item early on because you're like, it gets you like really excited. Day 2 came with some stitching tools. So it had 2 different, what do you call these? Needle threaders, which I love the concept of a needle threader, but I'm too stubborn to use them half the time because I'm like, no, I can do this. But I like these like flat metal ones more, so I am glad to get more of those. And then it came with a little packet of needles, so you have 22 through 28 and a beading needle. So I thought that was nice to get all those and a beading needle because I could always use more beading needles. And then the other thing in that day was this like thread / seam ripper, which it's the Clover brand, and I am so glad to get this because all the ones I have are like this big, and so this one is much bigger, and so it fits in my hand way more comfortably because I got big hands. So I was like, that is a nice tool to have. On day 3, we got, oh, and for day 2, everybody got the same thing. And then on day 3, it was a pattern and floss. So for this one, there was 13 or 14 different patterns that you could have gotten. So that's crazy. That's a lot of work, and Crafty Gurumi really like outdid herself. So I ended up, if you want to see the others like in more detail on her Instagram, every day she's posting, Crafty Gurumi is posting like all the variations. So it's also fun to see what other people could have gotten. But I got the Spooky Tree blackwork pattern because when she asked, you know, if you were comfortable with blackwork, I've never done it. But I've always wanted to try it because there is this X-Files blackwork pattern I've seen on Etsy that is like calling my name. So it's nice that I can try it out through this like smaller pattern, see if I like it. Because I know it's like essentially just straight stitchings, back stitching, whatever. But like as far as reading the pattern and stuff like that, I'm like, do I have the brain capacity for that? We'll see. So that's why I'm glad that I got this pattern in this box because I need to try it out. And then everybody got 3 skeins of DMC that were variegated, and there's one from each of the DMC lines. So from the DMC main line, I got 52, and it is this like monochrome purple variation. I have all of these, so this will go in the backup bin. And then from the Coloris line, I think I have all the Coloris as well, but this one is 4510. And it's like very like fall kind of leaves colors. So I really like this one. It's really pretty. And then from the color variations line itself, the one that comes in the little plastic, I got 4122. Kind of similar to this other one as far as like the color family goes, but this one is more like not green. It's more not green. It doesn't have green is what I'm trying to say compared to the other one. So this is another one that I don't know if I have this one. Because I either have all of the Coloris or all of the color variations and then only some of the other, but I can't remember which is which. So I got to figure that out. I got to go look at it. Yesterday was another pattern, but it's like this little kit to make a card. So I got the Warmest Wishes card. I think there were 5 different cards. And this one, I think because I put that I was okay with French knots, I got the one that's got like 80,000 French knots on it. I'm like, all right, I'll do it. But they're not gonna all look the same. But that's fine because you have to practice in order for improvement, you know? But this is cool because, so you got an envelope, this little card, and then what you do is, and she cut you like the floss too, and then you stitch it on here, and then you cut it down to size, and you like can give it as a greeting card. So like you would stick it right in there, and then like tack this down, and then now you have a little card. I don't know if I'd ever, like, I think the idea of like cross-stitch greeting cards are really cute and fun, but I think the only person I'd ever give them to is like Rob, because Rob keeps every card that he's ever been given. Most people just throw cards away at the end of the season. So I'd be like, oh, all that work for nothing. Cool. And then today, I'm like obsessed with these. I've just been playing with them all day. But it's like this itty bitty pair of scissors. And I'm going to keep these in my car for car stitching because I always forget. I need to put some like needles in there too, because I always forget stitches or scissors or a needle. I don't know, but it comes with this like, it's like a rubber, like, like a rubber cover, and then it's like stays attached, which is nice. The loops of the scissors are really big, but the blade is super small and it's pretty sharp looking. And there were 3 different colors you could get. So there was yellow, pink, or green. I'm a yellow lover. It's the happiest color in the world. Anybody who hates yellow, get out of my face. They were described as like super TSA friendly because they are so short. I have never had anything taken from me by TSA, even when they probably should have. Because TSA is not always on top of things. But I don't know. I want to keep these in my car. So they're very cute. And it's like a 24-day advent calendar, so there's like plenty more to go. I'm so excited to keep opening it up. It's been really fun. I already told Tara, I was like, bro, if this keeps up, they're getting a definite buy from me next year too, because it's just been, it was really worth the money so far. You know, it's really, I love how customized it is to each person. Clearly put in a lot of work on this, so rave review. And I guess last but not least, my plans for the month of December, I don't really have anything like too hard and fast, but I'm just gonna try to finish any like smaller project that like could be finished in under a week. Try to get those out and done and just like out of my rotation so that next year I can focus on putting a lot of time into some bigger projects. And I'm gonna actually do like a 2025 plans video. And then next year, I think I'm gonna do a video talking all about like my process with the year in stitches and give you some of the statistics, like the total stitch count, colors used, and like where, like the percentage breakdown of like where each pattern came from, whether it was like a book that I got or pixel art or my own design, and just breaking that down and giving you guys like a full better shot of the thing, because obviously I'm not doing the best job when I'm like just dragging it up like this. You can't really see all the details. So that's it. That's all I've got. I can't talk anymore. I want to stop talking because Rob's gonna be home in like an hour and he loves to talk, so I need to save up my talking for him. But yeah, anyways, that is gonna be it for me. I need to clean my apartment a little bit and then go stitch a lot. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.